Hello, good morning. My table's crooked. Oh my goodness. This is how we're starting the day. How is everybody doing? Welcome to my very first kind of WIP and Chat, I guess. And it's, I guess not my first, but my first on YouTube. Um, I've done WIP and Chats on my Twitch channel. However, I thought it would be fun to do WIP and Chat here because I do have the YouTube channel, which highly confuses people because I have my tarot or woo-woo-woo channel, if you will. And that's great. I love it. I love the fact that when I've been on Twitch, or I mean the YouTube, oh, geez, 3 or 4 years. And it's great. It's great. But I have this channel as well, because when I wanted to go on Twitch, where's the magnet? There it is. When I wanted to go on Twitch, I'll get the same handle in YouTube, because that's a thing. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this channel, but I've got it. I'm like, perfect. So now I'm kind of evolving things. I think I need the top half. As I'm getting set up, those who have seen me on Twitch know I'm new to diamond painting. I'm not new to crafting. I've been crafting for years. The painting that I'm working on, it's called Not Today, and it's a little cavalier. And this looks like my dog. He sleeps like my dog. My dog is not allowed near hot drinks, but very similar to my dog. It is a diamond painting, or a diamond art club painting, which I really enjoy. They're expensive, however, it's so soft. It's just the diamonds are going down like butter. It's very well worth the cost. And this is the very first partial I've done, and this is what that is called, is a partial, because the diamonds aren't in the background. This is just a kind of a glittery background. And everyone who's new to who's a diamond art painter person is like, yeah, I get it. Some of us aren't so seasoned, so I'm kind of going through the what I've got, just not only for you guys, but to remind me of what I'm working on. Now I do have some full paintings that are all diamond, or all the sparkly bits. And I have one from Diamond Art Club. I ordered 2, because that's, if you're gonna order, you're gonna put it through for the shipping, right? And I'm hoping to start that next. It's gonna be kind of a when am I gonna finish this? As you can see, it's not much. And then also I've got it's called Purity by Diamond Art Club that I want to start. But I also have another one. It's called Tarot, and it's done by Dreamer Design. And I got a free painting from them a month and a bit ago. And that's the first one I did. Barring a small one I did for my daughter that wasn't like a full painting piece. It was a little kind of keychainy type thing. So yeah, that is my history. Brief all it may. Thankfully, there are people who know what they're doing, and I have been relying on their wisdom and expertise to help me. And I have upgraded different things. Like I've got the storage container system, which I appreciate a lot, because going from the little baggies was a lot of work, especially that some of the bags started to stick together at the top. So I'm really enjoying. They're little ticky-tack containers. Literally, like if you're a Tic Tac person, it's the same little container. And with this small amount of drills, like there's only, I think, 26 colors, it works. I don't know how I would feel about a larger one. I don't know. I do have another storage container system that lots of people who do this a lot recommend, and so I'll have that hopefully in the next week or so. I'm debating, depending on when it comes in, when I want to start my next painting. Yeah, we'll see. I might have to kit up in this system. So anyway, I wanted to start doing thinking it through, the little weird square piece. There we go. Thinking it through here. I thought it would be fun just to have WIP and Chats have content on the YouTube channel. I have done a couple book unboxings from Brandon Sanderson, which by the way I have not read. They're kind of sitting in my room, mocking me a bit that I haven't sat down to read them. And for me, reading is not it's not always easy. I have dyslexia, so it's one of those things where you're attempting to read, but your brain is making fun of you or not programming properly, and I'm getting words that are backwards and upside down. I'm legit the type of person that can start to read upside down because it takes just as much brain power to decode upside down than it does right side up. So that was it. I haven't read them yet. However, I do have unboxings on the channel. You know, like, there you go. In all honesty, I might just even I should have got it an audiobook because it was a Kickstarter where Brandon Sanderson broke Kickstarter. Should have got the audiobook. I debated it because there was a thing that you could get the hardcover and the audio. I'm like, no, I'll read it. This will give me reason to read it. It might give me reason. Doesn't give me the time. So it's on my to-do list. So many things to do on the to-do list. It's funny how your to-do list changes. Especially not only as you get older, but as things kind of unwind, unfold. Speaking of unfolding, I might do this rest of this white spot. There we go. So yes, that was my thought. So as many people who are aware of my situation, I do have a daughter who is blind and fighting cancer. She has brain cancer. And it's not for us, it's not a terrifying piece anymore because this past month, it's been, oh, there's more white at the bottom. Oh well. This past month, the last Monday actually was her 8-year anniversary of being this warrior. And that's not, for us, so it's not that scary. It's just, she'll always have it. It's her forever pet in her head. She's rocking it, doing well, in the 11th grade. And that's the piece with many childhood brain cancers. When they are diagnosed, there's a really high survival rate. And we caught hers like by fluke. And so anyway, she's doing really well. People struggle, especially the schools, that she is blind. Many teachers go their whole career without teaching a blind student. And the adaptation to trying to teach in a visual world to a blind student does take a lot of creativity. So we're working diligently with the school to try and get everything sorted for her. And every year we have this problem because, especially in high school, we don't have the same teachers, or if we do have the same teachers, it's adapting the harder curriculum. Yeah. And the classes that she doesn't like math, have tendency to be the ones that she's a little bit lenient or less likely to be forgiving. So, and that's the class we're struggling with this semester. She has social studies, which she really likes, and math, and then drama. And the drama teacher is amazing with her. She's just a phenomenal teacher. Not to say the others aren't. She's just really good at adapting things. And it's also drama. It's not a core. It's not hardcore stuff where we're trying to get, algebraic terminology and pieces with it. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been in math. I was not a good math student. So we're working slowly with the school to get the math not only adapted, but it's a fast-paced course. So she's really struggling with the fact of how fast it is. And because she's got to decipher what is going on in the board, process it, and then be able to do the math. And a lot of times she's doing it in her head. Which, yeah. So anyway, this week we have a meeting again with the school to talk about technology and other supports that they can put into this, into play. Unfortunately, their theory of, oh, we'll just throw this piece of tech at her and it will be fine, is not going to be the answer. It'd be great if it was, but the tech for the blind is incredibly archaic. Lots of short keys, lots of remembering what systems you're doing. It kind of reminds me of Braille itself, where you have to understand code, and then decode and understand it again when you process it. So anyway, I did ask them to actually look at the tech before they say that this is a really great idea, because it's, like I said, it's not the best tech, and I get it. There's such a limited amount of people who are legally blind. So that is a joy I get to look forward to this week. Yes. As you can tell, I'm not excited about it because I know that it's going to be not only stressful for the school, but also for my daughter and for us, because it's, as much as the school wants to take the easy way out, there really isn't. There's not exactly a fix-all be-all piece to this. So that is something, actually, as this video is going up, I'm probably getting ready for, because it's on Wednesday, and my chats, if you will, my WIP and Chats, witchy WIP and Chats, maybe for October, are gonna go on Wednesday. I know there's a lot of content creators who do their WIP and Chats on Monday, and I thought, well, Wednesday might be a good day. And it gives me it gives me at least Monday or Sunday to record it, on top of the recordings and stuff like that I do for my YouTube channel, my woo-woo YouTube channel. I love how these aha brilliant moments are like, you know what, that's exactly what I want to do, is add in more stuff. And it is, I do want to add in more stuff. It's just, it's the time, right? Everybody's time is so stressed and so stretched. So that I'm also mindful of as well. That said, I know a lot of people who just, this is how, it's just another way to not only connect in, but to work on projects. Because a lot of people use these as almost like a podcast where they're listening. And I like to listen and watch to them, but work along with them. So, yeah. If you're not part of my Discord, I'll have it linked below. But share your project. Tell me what you're working on. I love knowing and seeing what people are working on, what projects they're loving, which projects they're like, okay, I'm just gonna get it done, so it's no longer on my table to do, and then I can work on something that is really relevant. Really meaningful. Because that's the fun part. I know that I've got a number of ongoing projects. I have a really pretty crocheted sweater I've been trying to work on. Ran out of yarn. Can't get the yarn here. My parents were going to come up this week to visit and to do a few errands and stuff like that. However, they're no longer. I'm gonna see them next week for Thanksgiving. So my sweater's gonna have to wait. I will get it done. I've got this piece. I've got some computer pieces as well. I don't think I will do computer art like I do. I'm creating decks, tarot deck and an oracle deck. Actually, right now I've got 2 different tarot decks and 2 different oracle decks. Like so many others, I need multiple things to work on all the time. So I've got those 2 as well, but I don't know if I'll do. I don't have that kind of stuff set up. This I will be doing. I think my WIP and chats are going to be more the diamond art or crochet. For sure, the diamond art piece, because I know that this is a nice culture to work on. Yeah, let's bring you up closer. Work on some of those aspects. After this, I have to figure out how, like, once I'm done this, because it's not very far, I've only got 2 full sections, and I've got these 2 half sections to work on, and then I'm done this painting. So I'm really getting there, which is really making me happy. I will be kitting up another one, and I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's part of it, right? Like, we're always really excited. I missed a couple of these little squared pieces. But I have to figure out how to put like 2, I don't know what it's even called. Why is my brain stopping here? I have to learn how to put it on the wall, like to frame it. Framing it's the word. Putting it in a sentence helps. It's really early in the morning. Oh, so I want to figure out how to frame this. My daughter is loving the texture and the feel. And let's be honest, she's all about the feels, right? Let's move this back. I'll do the bottom part later. Later. I'm pretty sure my dog, you can hear him, because he does have the smushy nose, snores. So I apologize if he's coming in on audio. I'll find that out later. I'll try and edit it out if I can. I don't know. He's a snuggle bug, but loud when he is sleeping. He sleeps hard, basically. Very hard sleeper. Okay, so I know this one is all over the place. I do like the fact that Diamond Art Club uses the colors as well, especially in this. Like there's some greens and reds and blues. That has been helpful to decipher the pattern. I won't lie, I missed some the last time. I still miss stuff. That's a me thing, but that's okay. That's okay. My wickedly fun Wednesday today. I am going to also be going to my surgeon to find out more about my knee. And I already know how bad it is. However, what is the medical team going to do? Because pain is not fun. Although I will say over the last, because I had my left knee done in May, where they went in and they were like, okay, we'll release some of the, because I have osteoarthritis in that knee, or both knees actually. So they're like, yeah, we'll go in. And they were going to do all sorts of stuff to help prolong my knee. They had great plans. It all sounded really good because they're not replacing it, so it's not such a major surgery. Yeah, they went in and went, yeah, we can't do that. We had to abort the plan. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, but we'll still do your right knee, and maybe we can do the plan on your right knee. Yeah, it's worse than my left knee. They went in July. And I'm like, okay, great. So what the heck am I supposed to do? So now I have a different surgeon I have to talk to. My first surgeon told me, oh no, you're gonna have to have your knee replaced in your right knee under her thoughts. And then she said I might be able to do a partial on my left, but even that, she'd say, honestly, if it was up to her, she'd replace it. But she doesn't do knee replacements anymore. Because you have to be at a certain hospital to do it because of something about how big the surgery is. And I'm like, oh my God. I just need a solution so I can walk. Yeah. I am hoping to have more information. I'm not looking forward to having to go through more surgery on my knees. It's not a fun thing. It's really, really not. So yes. I will keep everybody posted on that. And then I said a lot of the stuff I like to do, and I don't know if it's because I've always had knee issues, is that it's a lot of sitting. So this I can do without needing to be standing or putting pressure on my knee. I can have my knee kind of in a weird position and continue to do my art, or continue to do my crafting, or continue to do my sessions with my clients and people. So that makes me happy that I don't have too much disruption in my world. And it's funny, my brother is training to do Ironman, and I'm trying to figure out how to walk. It just doesn't seem to be that fair. Yeah, who said life was fair? Over the weekend, he was actually doing some sort of run in Banff up in the Rocky Mountains. And I'm very proud of him for doing it, as that's not going to be something I will ever be able to do. Got 2 ears done, and his paw is pretty much done. This partial did not take me long at all. I unboxed it and started working on it on Tuesday. So it's not taking long at all. Move them up just a smidge. Oh my god, my dog. I can hear him really loudly. I don't know what the mic is picking up, if anything. And I'm hoping nothing. On Friday, I had to take him in for his normal checkup. And he's such a sweet dog. He loves everybody. And so, which is great. He doesn't have a vicious bone in his body. And so the vet loves to see him because he is such a sweet dog. He's a love bug. And they've been telling me for the last, I don't know how many years, you know, his weight's getting a little high, I'm like, he's a cavalier. He doesn't play, because he doesn't. You throw a ball and he looks at you like, well, you dummy, you just lost your ball. You shouldn't have done that. And then we'll walk the other way. Sometimes if my son's playing, he will go after it if my son goes after it. So it's kind of like a joint fetch. He's not a play dog. He's rather be on your lap and just snuggle. Right? He doesn't really bark unless there's a rabbit. And then he goes for walks, but they're not long, especially right now with me not being able to walk. So he doesn't get, like, he gets 3 walks a day. My husband, well, my husband's been amazing with my whole knee issue in the last year here. He does a lot of the walking, and the kids do a lot of the walking for me. So he does get 3 walks a day, but he's not like a high active dog. And whatever you drop, it's fair game. It might be eatable, so I will eat it. So my vet has been like, oh, he's getting a little bit chunky. We should be paying attention to that. And I'm like, okay. Like, we're doing our best. We're doing our best. And it's not like we overfeed him. He doesn't get a lot of treats, unless there are those, and I won't lie, because my daughter is blind, stuff does hit the floor. And I won't lie, this is when he is like some sort of weird ninja and can get to it. So he does get some food off the floor. Today, or on Friday when I went there, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna complain that the dog's fat. And so he went in and, like, we weighed the dog, and it wasn't hard. And thankfully they weigh him at the beginning, because they do ply him with treats and stuff like that. So they weighed him, and I'm like, I can barely remember my own weight, let alone how many kilograms my dog is. So they put it up there, and I'm like, is that high for a cavalier? Yes, I live in Canada, but I can never remember kilograms. I usually use pounds for weight on like people or something. So we go into the little room, and the doctor comes in later. He's a really nice man, and he's like, and he's known us for years, because we got our dog Amaris just before my daughter, like 2 months before my daughter was diagnosed, which he then became an unofficial therapy dog for. So he was the vet that saw him when we brought him home, and I'm like, I'm getting him checked out to make sure he's okay. And so he's known him for a long time. And he's like, you guys are doing a great job. He lost weight. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he's down like a kilogram and a half. And I'm like, okay, that should have come up. He came up closer. Yeah, that's him. That's my snore fest. He's moved to the couch. And he's like, I'm going to sleep comfy because I'm a princess. The vet's like, he's got another key to lose, but he's doing great. Keep going what you're doing. I'm like, I'm not entirely sure what we're doing. And then when I was talking to a friend of mine, she's like, it's probably the stress. Because my daughter and I, over we were away February and March because she was getting radiation in Florida. She's like, it's probably because he wasn't eating very well while you were gone, because I'm his person and so is my daughter and we're both gone. And I'm like, yeah, that'd probably do it. So who knows what's going to happen to his weight. I don't really care. The dog is amazing, and it's not a high piece. He's not like not able to walk or like so morbidly obese. I think he's literally maybe 5 pounds off perfect weight. So I'm like, he's doing great. He's doing great. We're good. We're good. But other than that, he got a clean bill of health, which made me happy. And yeah, so we did that. I had to haul my son to the vet because I'm still on crutches. And there's no way I can have, my dog does not walk a straight line. He's all over the place. He's a little bit of a squirrel. And so I'm like, son, you have to come with me. I don't want to go to the vet. I'm like, it's not really an option. I need somebody. And I can't bring my daughter, who's a cane user, because that would be like a gong show. Me on crutches, her with the cane. I'm like, sorry, dude. I told him I would get him a Slurpee if he came. And he was okay with it then. So we, on Friday, went and took the dog in. And he got a Slurpee, so he was quite happy. The dog was just like, can I go home now? I really don't want to be poked in the butt anymore. He likes the ladies at the front of the desk, but the vet, he's like, oh, person, I love person. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute. It's like the one thing he remembers is a vet. And the fact that every time he comes to see him, he gets poked in the butt. Because, knock on wood, we've had a very healthy dog. And he comes in for his vaccines. So, he runs up and then runs away. He's like, yeah, I'm good. You smell like danger. I don't want to get poked. So. It's always one of those things that I worry that there's going to be something wrong with the dog. I don't want, like, he is so important. And he has had such an important role in my daughter's recovery from many chemos, from many adventures. So it's always good to hear, clean bill of health. He's doing great. Keep it up. Great. I was looking at Diamond Art Club because it was one of the was it last Saturday? Saturday before. They had their new paintings come out, and they had the Purity one, which is an angel. And I was like, oh my god, I love the colors. They're very kind of softer colors. And I'm like, I love that painting. I'm like, well, you might as well get one more or something else to get free shipping. And I stumbled across this Cavalier and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get some. I didn't realize that it wasn't a full painting. Yeah, that's the word, the terminology, full painting. I just saw him, I'm like, okay, I gotta have it. There is another one where he's laying on books, like the Cavalier, I think it's from the same artist. She must have a Cavalier like this too. I think it's called a Blelheim? Blemh. Is it EIN or IEN? It's this brownie color and white. There's only 4 colors of a Cavalier. The 4 or 3. 4, because there's this one, then there's this one that's these 2 colors plus black, the tricolor. Then it's kind of just this color. It's a ruby color is what it's called, and then a black and tan. So, my history and knowledge on Cavaliers. Actually, I found out a lot. Same vet that we saw on Friday. When I got him, he's like, oh, he looks great. Things are good. And then he's like, yeah, Cavaliers are cool because in World War II, during the bombings, most of there was almost a whole wipeout of the entire breed because of it. It was a very British dog, hence they're King Charles Cavaliers. And only 4 colors remained. I don't know if it was just the 4 dogs, but the 4 colors just remained. I don't know how many colors there were before the war. Which unfortunately has led to a lot of inbreeding. My dog is not the smartest dog. And Cavaliers are not known for their brilliance. Like, you do get some pretty smart ones, but that's not why you get them. They're lap dogs, right? They used to keep your feet warm. And they were rabbiters. They would go down and put their snout down the rabbit hole to get the rabbit out. Yeah, so they do have some cognitive stuff because of how inbred they are, which is sad. I was a little bit worried because my dog, he does have some weird traits. Will bark at nothing, or not bark, but growl and get mad at stuff that isn't there. And it's not like that he's mad at a person or anything like that. It's just, it's weird. Just weird traits. And my vet said that it's not the cognitive disorder. And we found this out like weeks before my daughter, and when she, like, it was just too much cognitive stuff. I'm like, I need to get away from the brain for a bit. Can we not talk about cognitive stuff? So thankfully he has not. And it was come up because somebody who had a dog from the same, we did get him from a breeder because my husband wanted to make sure we had a dog that was safe for, because my son was only 5 at the time, and so we did. I will never go through a breeder again. I don't know if we'll ever have to, but anyhow, someone who also had another puppy from the same lady ended up having some cognitive stuff with one of her puppies, and I had gone back to the vet, just me, to talk to the vet about it and what I should be looking for. He said he's good. He's still good. Bim's a cutie and a softie. That is all that matters. I don't need a really smart dog. My mom has a really smart dog and struggles with it because she can't get the dog to take medicine. The dog is like, yeah, I'm good, and then will like eat the peanut butter or the cheese and then spit out the medicine. My dog inhales it. Win for me. Win for me. And for him, because whatever it is I'm giving him is usually, you know, something he needs. So he gobbles it up, looks at me like, okay, what else are you gonna drop? Because I literally will. I'll have it on the counter and I'll fling it off the like, just drop it off the counter like, oops. And the dog just lunges at him. So, food-driven dog who doesn't think things through sometimes wins in my favor. Although I have had to pry erasers out of the dog's mouth because my son, or yeah, it was my son, was working on homework and dropped an eraser, and then all of a sudden it's like, Mom, I can't find my eraser. I look over and there's my dog chewing on something feverishly. I'm like, ew. Gross and slimy. Other than the Friday appointment, didn't really do a lot this weekend. Saturday, we had some groceries delivered. Sunday, my husband went to Costco for me. Making sure we have snacks and different, let's pull this back. Here we go. Snacks and the different things my kids need for school, because that's a thing. So he went to the Costco on Sunday. Friday, I missed a lot of it, but there was a YouTube channel, High Rollers. It's actually a Twitch channel. I started trying to watch it on Twitch, where it was they had the cast of Baldur's Gate playing D&D. I caught part of it, and then Saturday I found that it was posted onto YouTube, so I was able to catch more of it. Multitasking is good, except sometimes it has limitations because there's only so much multitasking I can do and still be able to listen and fully comprehend what's going on. So Saturday I watched the rest of like what I missed, and then Sunday I watched the second part. If you're not a D&D fan, it's not good, but oh my god, I played 3 in high school, and then I've been teaching my kids. My kids have been enjoying the 5, and that's just what version they're on. Anyway, that is something that I really enjoyed. I was laughing. It was great. It was just a fun piece. I love the fact that more things are going and being open, because D&D used to be very closed-circuited because it was seen as, well, only geeks do that. Only the freaks do that. Now we all do it. I know Stranger Things really brought in D&D again, and reintroduced and introduced D&D to many people, which, yay, that is fantastic. My daughter plays D&D. She has braille dice, and it's a game that you don't need to see a lot. You don't have to have the miniatures. You don't have to have the map. It's optional. And she can use the theater of the mind and still be able to do everything everybody else does. Not that she lets her sight slow her down anyway. which brought my son into it because he's like, well, if she's doing it, I want to do it. Especially since mommy would go to the comic book store and we would play there. He thought that was pretty cool. Then COVID hit and the world shut down and we didn't go. Thankfully, it slowly opened. And we were able to get back on and enjoy that piece because it is quite fun. All the red C's are done in this section. Woohoo! Yay for the red C's. Not sure how I know that I will probably, and I don't know if you're supposed to put diamond paintings under glass. My daughter likes to feel them, right? And so does my son. And they do feel really, really fun and bumpy. And the sparkly bits. And this one's nice and high contrast. So hopefully she'll be able to see more of it. I'm not entirely sure though, like, and I know there's lots of different ways that you can frame and mount it and stuff like that. So I'll have to look into that. Figure that piece out. People have suggestions, thoughts, advice. I am all ears. A little bit more of that. Love the shaky, shaky, shaky bits. There we go. I'm good with placing 4, not good with placing more than that. And I think it's just down to comfort level. But even placing 4, it works well. It works well. On Friday, live on stream, I'm getting text from my daughter. She's not feeling well. And it's one of those things where I know that we have her in a spare to help her have more time to work on her math. And it worked. It's a really good plan, right? And she texts me, she's like, Mom, I don't feel well. I don't have any math to work on in my spare. What should I do? And you know, she's like, okay, I don't want to be at school for my spare. And it's the last day of class, the last class on Friday. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'll come get you after I pick up your brother. And you can call it a Friday. I didn't think she was sick. Because it's like, she's almost 16. And it's like, is she really sick? Or is it one of those, Mom, I'm sick? No, she's actually sick. She brought home some sort of plague. Saturday night, her brother starts. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot get sick. This is not time to get sick. I have my surgeon appointment. Like, I love you guys, but you need to be taking vitamin C, covering your mouth. Yeah. Because I need to at least get some information. Then if I get sick, I don't care. Later in the week, I can cope with it. So I am now crossing my fingers that Wednesday I'm not sick. I'm sure it's some sort of cold. There's always been lots of viruses going around. It's just we get focused in on the one, right? So anyway, it's the season though. My daughter's like, yeah, all my friends have been sick this week. Awesome. So she actually legit was sick. I picked her up and I could hear her throat, and I was like, not sure this is allergies. Pretty sure this is actually something else. And the one time we had COVID go through the house, and we were terrified of my daughter getting COVID for obvious reasons. And so when we did get it, it was in just after my birthday in February. You try and figure out where your ground zero is. Yeah, my daughter was her ground zero. She carried it, but never had it. I had to go to the hospital because I was having chest, like it hurt to breathe. And my husband's like, we're not fooling around. I'm dropping you off. You're going in. You're talking to somebody. It's like, I do not want you on a ventilator. And I get that, right? Health stuff triggers my husband and I. And I think it's fair play. We probably both have a little PTSD from it after dealing with what we've had to deal with my eldest. And so I go in and I'm talking to the doctor. I'm like it hurts to breathe. And they're like, well, your O2 is good. And we were talking about it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure my daughter brought this home because her bestie, her best friend had called, our mom had called me and said, look, oh my God, she has tested positive. And the girls were together like that week. They had done a birthday party. It was in 2021. First birthday party she'd been to since the world had decided it needed to shut down, and this crazy. And I'm like, no one's fault. It's all good. So when I was talking to the doctor and we were talking about it a bit, he's like, well, that makes sense because of how beat up her system is. The virus wouldn't attack her. And I'm like, well, that's good. That's good. Her brother and I, we were brought to our knees. Her brother actually ended up having to go into the hospital as well because his throat was swelling up so bad. So, yes. Her dad got it. He has the constitution of an ox, so he hardly ever gets sick. And when he did get it, it was quite bad for 2 days. He didn't have to go to the hospital, but he did. He was like, yeah, I don't feel good. I really legit don't feel good. And then we were doing the home kits and testing negative. So we're like, well, we don't have it. It's some other cold or flu. No, we did. That was our one, and I'm hoping only experience with it. But now my daughter has some sort of weird cold flu. I don't know. One of the reasons my parents are not coming up this week is because I've got sick kids. They have tangled with different things that their grandkids have brought home from school, and it hasn't been good for them. Like I called her and I'm like, look, Mom, you don't want to come up. Laura's sick. I don't know what she has. I don't know what it is. It's a cold flu symptoms. And I don't want, like, my parents are getting older. I don't want them to get sick. And they're like, okay, no worries. We'll see you in Thanksgiving. I'm like, perfect. So. My son is sad. He likes it when Grandma and Grandpa come up, but he also doesn't want to get them sick. My parents are actually moving to
where the area I live. Right now they have a house. Well, right now they're snowbirds. They're planning to go back down to the US the end of October, I think. And then they'll come back in April. And I think it's great. They're living their best life, and I think that's really important for them. So they're doing that right now. However, they wanted to find a space where they could have community and really kind of have that retirement home. They were going to move to BC. Both my brother and I don't, he lives like 2.5 hours away from me. In the same small space that I grew up in. He's still in our hometown. And I live up near Calgary. And so him and I are like, you guys are moving to BC. What happens if you guys need somebody? Like, we're not close. And that was my biggest concern. Well, over the summer, they decided that they're going to move into this area up in closer to the mountains, but closer to Calgary. And I'm like, thank God, because if they needed something, if they're in BC, depending on time of year, it could be almost impossible for me or my brother to go to them. So they are meeting with builders, getting things sorted, to move up to one of the cottage communities in this area. Which really makes my son happy because him and Grandpa can do all sorts of fun stuff when he's here. It's funny, my dad was like, my parents got married when my mom was 16. They're actually this Thanksgiving celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. And I was not part of the reason they got married. I'm their eldest. I came around a couple of years later. And so they worked really, really hard when my brother and I were kids. They were young parents. They did a fantastic job. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. My dad worked really hard. Now they can have that time. They can do the fun stuff because they have money. My brother and I have families of our own. We, very self-sufficient. So yes, they get to live that best life, which really makes me happy that they can do that. The funny thing is my dad semi-retired, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago or something. It was a while ago. And he had done that rare thing where he worked up the ladder, the company's ladder of a muffler shop. And when he semi-retired, because he had opened up his own business, that was his semi-retirement, he decided to take a culinary course at the local college. When my brother and I were kids, like I said, he was never really around because he was working really hard. And we knew that, right? We knew where he was. We knew what was going on. Well, he took this culinary class. Loves to cook. When my brother and I were kids, my mom had to go to my aunt's for one of her sisters who had to go for an operation. And my dad had to look after us. My brother and I were probably about 5-ish, 5, 6. We're only 18 months apart, so we were very close in age. My dad made a huge, massive bowl of potato salad, and we had it with every meal. To this day, my brother and I struggle to eat potato salad. That was the extent of his cooking. He now makes my kids homemade waffles from scratch. He makes all sorts of stuff, and it's like, really? Okay, cool. So my kids love to spend time with Grandma and Grandpa because Grandpa makes the best waffles, Mom. I'm like, okay, did you eat this when you were a kid? You're so lucky. Like, no, I did not. We did not get homemade waffles. So, they do enjoy spending time with their grandparents. They're very excited that they're moving in close. It'll be about 45 minutes away, which sounds far for many people. However, for me, it takes me 45 minutes to get my daughter to the children's hospital. So it's not like the farthest piece. And it's also on good roads. So if something should happen, well, let's be honest, they'd be going into Calgary, and it'd still take me about 45 minutes to get into Calgary. And then they've got lots of medical stuff. Where they were going to move, they wouldn't have had. And that was kind of, I was kind of raising my eyebrows going, okay, what is your plans here? You realize I will not be traveling the mountains, especially in the wintertime, to come see you. Those passes are not fun in the winter. So they're coming up, I think, next week now to see their builder. And they want to, that was the reason they were coming into the area, was to meet with their builder and get things started, because they have to build the house that they want. And I think that's the best thing. So yeah, they're going to be doing that, and I'm really excited for it. And my mom's really excited that she's going to be back in the area. Well, I accomplished a lot of the little fluffy body. Usually on Wednesdays I like to whip and chat or work on crafts on Twitch. Although today that's not going to happen because, well, I'm off getting poked and prodded. This is kind of Wednesdays, I think, is going to be my crafty day. So my plan forward is that we're going to do, I'll post a whip and chat on YouTube, but I'll also do my crafty session on Twitch. Well, I've been doing crafting for the last month or so on Twitch on Wednesdays. This is going to be another element to that, the craftiness that's going to happen for Wednesdays. I want to thank everybody for joining this first ever whip and chat on my YouTube channel. You can see Hum's little body is finished here. I'll be finishing this up and starting a new one. It'd probably be on YouTube or Twitch. Maybe on Friday I'll look at trying to start my new one. It's going to be a toss-up between if one comes in time or Purity. I will be doing both of them eventually. So we'll see what happens later this week. I do have my links below to my Twitch channel if you want to come join me and say hi. But please feel free to like, subscribe. Helps the algorithms. Also help you know when I've posted here. But I want to thank you guys for joining me in my first ever whip and chat for YouTube. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until tomorrow, my friends.